Pantheon jungle, baby. Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to another Wild Rift video, and you can see it on the smile of my face. This is gonna be a banger video. Pantheon jungle is such an amazing champion to play because his hard carry potential in the early game, and I repeat, in the early game, is out of this world. So in today's video, I'm going to explain to you everything you need to know about dominating the game with Pantheon. And and in the beginning part of the video, I'm going to explain to you how to build Pantheon. There are timestamps in the description to just go to the gameplay immediately. Before getting to the build though, I want to show you guys something real quick. If you didn't know already, I have a Discord server. The server has like 3,000 members or 2,800. And these are basically, viewers. They talk about everything. There's a lot of different chats. And I'm sure you'll find your place. So like you can ask questions as well to very high elo players. You can look at builds. You can look at nice plays from people. You can even put your salty games in here. Just there's everything. So if you want to join my Discord, I'll put it in a pinned comment and you can find it in my description, guys. Okay, how do you build Pantheon? This build that I have here right now basically is a build that you can always build. However, you have to switch up some items, but let me tell you immediately. So you start with a Black Cleaver if you're against any kind of tank. This is basically the perfect first item on Pantheon. So you could go for Blade of the Rune King. The thing is, Blade of the Rune King is going to do more damage. However, Black Cleaver, first of all, has ability haste, 25 ability haste, and it gives you 350 bonus max health. And as a jungler, the max health is pretty nice to have when you gank and things like that. So I really prefer Black Cleaver because it does make you a bit stronger. Even though you sacrifice a little bit of damage, starting with the Black Cleaver is really, really amazing and nice on Pantheon. I've seen some builds like Duskblade of Draktar first item or Yumo's Ghostblade, and this is good. Like these are good if you truly want to just do hard carry Pantheon. But the thing is, you're really gonna be very squishy. Like if you dive and you don't get a kill, you're gonna get demolished. And the thing is, it also falls off really hard into the late game when you go for a Yumo's Ghostblade or a Duskblade of Draktar. Black Cleaver, there is another thing that makes Black Cleaver absolutely amazing on Pantheon, which is the empowered second ability. When you use the empowered second ability on Pantheon, you jump on an enemy and then you do 3 attacks on them. What does this mean? You're gonna do physical damage 4 times in 0.5 seconds or something. What does that mean? You're gonna shred 20% of their armor immediately. That is why Black Cleaver is the absolute perfect item for Pantheon, guys. For the boots, it depends on the game. You need armor, you go for Playless 2 Cups. You need anti-CC or tenacity, you go for Mercury Threads. Otherwise, you go for the Ionian Boots of Lucidity. Ionian Boots are very nice if you feel like you don't need either of them because it gives you a lot of cooldown reduction. And then for your enchantment, I actually always go for, almost always go for Proto Belt because this allows you to catch out enemies, with the second ability. You Proto Belt and then you use the second ability. It's pretty simple. And now for your second item, Blade of the Rune King. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. It should be back. Yeah, there it is. This item is an absolute banger on Pantheon. When you get this as your second item, you are pretty much going to be a 1v1 king. An absolute 1 versus 1 king. You also do a lot of burst damage when catching out an enemy. It's obviously not going to be quite as much as when you have a Yumo's Ghostblade and Blade or Duskblade of Draktar. But as I said, Black Cleaver still provides way more value than that in the long run. So I go for a Blade of the Rune King, and then these are basically the 2 items that I always go for on Pantheon. They're really always good on Baron Lane and in the jungle. And then for your third item, it's situational. It's completely situational. Do you need armor? You go for the Guardian Angel. Do you want more sustain? You go for the Death Stance. Do you or are you against a lot of burst? Then Death Stance is also good. And see, Starrick's Gauge is really good if you need that lifeline. Like when you get low, you get that lifeline. If you want to buy time for your team and have that lifeline to get and have the tenacity of it as well, then you could go for the Starrick's Gauge as well. However, keep in mind, these 2 items are going to be giving you more than the Starrick's Gauge generally on Pantheon. Because you're not a tank. That's the thing. You're not a tank. Any other items that you could go for? So you could build crit on Pantheon. As I said, I really don't recommend it because it's too high risk. As I said, it's true that you'll do a lot of damage, but it's too risky. Like with this build, you also do a lot of damage. Not as much, but enough to make it totally worth it. And this build is also going to make you tanky, guys. This is quite literally the perfect jungle Pantheon build. For the runes, you go for Conquer. It's very easy to stack up the Conquer with the second ability, of course. For your second rune, you always go for Brutal in the jungle, because in the jungle, you always go for Brutal. And then for your third rune, it's situational, but I generally like to go for Bone Plating for that early game power, because as I said, Pantheon is absolutely, it's a monster in the early game. So you want to utilize that early game and make him even stronger with the Bone Plating. You could go for Adaptive Carapace, but the thing is, Bone Plating is generally going to be better because when you take damage from different abilities and basic attacks in a very rapid succession, you're pretty much going to block almost all of that damage with the Bone Plating. You know, if a Lee Sin dives you, or if a Kha'Zix goes on you and does his abilities very fast, you're going to be blocking the majority of that damage. For the fourth rune, I'd like to go for Pathfinder, just so you can actually roam around very fast, because the 9% movement speed is big, guys. This is a big one. You could go for Mastermind. Mastermind is basically always good, but the thing is, on Pantheon, nah. It's good for securing dragons, because your first ability is going to do a lot of damage, but Pathfinder is just generally going to be better. So for your spells, of course, you got a Smite in the jungle and then Flash. So enough about the build, let's now get into the gameplay. And today's gameplay is actually very high elo. As you can see, it's a Challenger Darius. We have 3 Grandmasters. Unfortunately, I dropped to Master. That's because yesterday, what was I playing? I was working on a video and I don't actually remember what champion I was playing. I had so many meetings today, so I just don't remember. But enough about that. So Pantheon jungle, guys. It's so fun to play and so effective. I think I put him in the S tier or in the S plus tier. Pretty sure it's the S tier because there is one major weakness that this champion has, which you should play around, which is his late game, guys. Pantheon is absolutely useless in the late game. His value drops so much in the very late game because you have to think about it. You are pretty much a single target damage champion. I mean, it's true that your first ability deals damage to multiple enemies, but the whole point of Pantheon is stunning an enemy with your second ability and dealing a lot of damage with your first ability on a single enemy, right? So keeping that in mind, you have to be aggressive in the early game. As you can see, I should be when I was moving from my red buff to the I don't know what they're called, wolves, I'm continuously looking at the lanes, the mid lane and the bot lane. Are you guys seeing that? Are you guys seeing what I'm doing? While I was taking this farm, continuously looking at the mid lane and the bot lane. Why am I doing that? To look for ganks. Pantheon is really good at early ganks. It's like Lee Sin. On level 2, he has a very strong gank. So when you're taking that farm, always pay attention to the mid lane and the bot lane while you're taking it, because of course, if there is a ganking opportunity, you go for it immediately on level 2. So what I'm doing here is I actually skipped out the wolves and the bottom because I want to be at the scuttle crab very fast. So here I took it, I'm level 3, I'm decently strong. Unfortunately, the Wukong ganked him, which was a really good gank for me. But even though I'm level 3, you have to keep in mind your Pantheon. You are strong in the early game. And as you can see, even though I'm level 3, I am still winning the fight. Why? Because I'm Pantheon. Pantheon is really strong in the early game. I'm going to repeat that many times. Look for those fights. Like you saw there, I could have done 2 things there. I could have either gone for the Scuttle Crab and secured it, because I would have outsmited the Wukong. Or I could have gone for the aggressive play, even though I was a level behind. And the choice that you have to take when you're Pantheon is go for the fight, because you are strong in the early game. So let's talk about the way that this passive works, right? Because the way that this passive works is when you have 5 stacks, all your abilities get buffed, right? They get a buff. Your first ability deals more damage. Your second ability has the 3 attacks after stunning the enemy. Boom, just like that. See that? That's what your second ability has. And then your third ability gives you bonus movement speed during the shield. Oh, it's not looking too good. Okay, so which one do you use? That's the obvious question, right? Like, which one do you use? So let me tell you. There are how do I make this sound easy while also telling you what to do? Okay. The most efficient way to use it is to use the buffed second ability. Okay, so when you have your 5 stacks, you use your second ability, and the simple reason for that is because after you use a buffed second ability, you're gonna hit the enemy 3 times, like boom boom boom, What does that mean? You're gonna get 3 stacks immediately. So after you use a buffed second ability, you only need to hit the enemy 2 more times instead of 5 times to get another buff. And then of course you use the buffed first ability. So here I'm just skipping my red buff, of course using my ultimate to help my team. And let's take a look at what's gonna happen. I am immediately here, the Wukong is not here because he does not have an ultimate that can do that. And I secure ourselves a kill. Always pay attention to the map when you're playing Pantheon, guys. Oh, what is happening here? I'm overextending a little bit. So I decided to go for the Alistar. I overextended there a little too much. I shouldn't have gone in like that. So what I was gonna say is you should always pay attention to the map, because you can always use your ultimate to either gank lanes or to just help in a jungle fight. And this is the thing that makes Pantheon incredibly powerful in the early game as well. So what I was saying is, what are other ways to use the passive? Because I said that there's many ways and some are a little harder to understand. So let's talk about the next way. The next way is what I like to call the burst way. So picture this, your Pantheon with 4 stacks. Not 3, not 5, 4 stacks. When you use your second ability on an enemy with 4 stacks, you're only gonna get 1 more stack. What does that mean? After you stun an enemy, you'll immediately have 5 stacks. Immediately. Oh, I just killed him right there. And boom. Double kill? Hello? There it is. So yeah, you dive an enemy with 4 stacks with the second ability, then you'll have 5 stacks, and then Jesus, I almost dropped something. And then immediately you're gonna do the buffed first ability. So you should do this when the enemy is at like 30-40% HP, you know, when they're low, because you're gonna be surprising them so hard with that, and you're gonna be absolutely one-shotting them. You're literally gonna one-shot them like that. So yeah. Boom, nice. And the buffed third ability, I never use it. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Because they changed it. It used to be that it added a second to the third ability, but now it only gives you some movement speed. It's not worth it at all. Oh. I kinda screwed up here, yeah? There it is. I kinda screwed up again. So the way that I screwed up is because I was caught alone, and as I said, Pantheon struggles in team fights because, like, the main reason that he struggles in the late game because he's not the best team fighter. He's really good at catching out enemies and one-shotting them, but he's not good if you're in a 1 versus 3 situation because you really cannot do anything. However, I have my ultimate. I'm of course gonna assist my team as fast as I can. So let's take a look at this. I know that the Kai'Sa is there. And I saw the Z on the bottom as well. I can't reach the Kai'Sa, so I'm just kind of walking here. I know that the Z is there, so I'm just checking. There he is. Nah, well, it is what it is. Oof. So basically, you should always play around the passive. If you don't play Pantheon around the passive, you're gonna deal such low damage. Because you really have to understand which buffed ability to use when. The buffed first ability is for the burst damage, and the buffed second ability is for the sustain. Because as I said, not only does it deal nice damage, the buffed second ability, it also gives you the passive back really fast, because it gives back three stacks. So that's what you have to keep in mind. Did you see that? That was a variation of what I told earlier. I used my second ability with 3 stacks on the Kai'Sa, and then I only hit 1 basic attack, and boom, I one-shotted her. That is also a different way to use it. Of course, it's not going to be as fast as using your second ability with 4 stacks, but I had to do it anyways there, right? So yeah. Nice, there it is. And you can smite. You can easily smite the dragons with the first ability plus smite. By the way, he has a really powerful smite. As you can see here, I'm taking the scuttle with the second ability, and then at the end I use the first ability because it deals more damage if the enemy is at low HP. If the enemy is at, I think it deals the most amount of damage, or sorry, it just deals more damage if the enemy is under 20% HP. So that's when you really want to use it. Of course, I'm gonna leave my blue buff here and gank the lane. There it is. Boom and boom. Double kill. There it is. This is what Pantheon can do. And this is what you have to do on Pantheon. Because if you don't do it, what's gonna happen is everyone is gonna skill into the late game and you're gonna become useless. So no, that's not gonna happen when you play Pantheon. You're gonna gank the lanes. You have to remember, okay, I watched that Hell's Guide. What did he tell me to do on Pantheon? Farm and get to the late game? No. No. Play super aggressive, guys. Gank lanes, catch out enemies, go for the plays. To just full on aggression. Limit testing. This is what I told you in the Riven video as well. You should really test how aggressive you can be and get away with it. So when you play Pantheon for the first time, second time, third time, what you should do is you should just be very aggressive. And even if you die quite often, it's okay. Because that's how you'll learn. Because then you'll learn, okay, that was too much, I can't do that. And then you'll learn, hey, I thought that I would die, but I actually didn't die. Wow. You know, these are the things that you have to do with champions like Pantheon. The early game aggressors. You have to play super aggressive. Same goes for Katarina, by the way. I have a Katarina video ready, boys. I have a Katarina video ready. I'm so excited to show it to you guys. Woo, that one is a banger. And yeah, by the way, guys, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe and ring the notification bell and... you know, honestly, I hate saying that. It's just, I don't know, but the thing is, it's part of it, right? I mean, like, you know, when a video gets a lot of likes, it gets buffed by the algorithm and blah blah blah. It's just, that's it, okay? That's why I say it. It's not really going too well for us right now, honestly. We're kinda losing right now. Yeah, we're losing pretty hard actually. It's true that I got the dragon, but we've lost so many turrets in this game. As you can see, we've lost 3 turrets, and we've only taken 1 of them. Let's look at the damage. Look at the damage. Look at that damage. Are you guys seeing that? That's what this build is gonna do for you. It's gonna do insane damage when you catch out an enemy like that. That's the whole power of Pantheon, guys. So right now I have my ultimate, and here. So with a normal champion, you should just stick with your team and go for the fight. But with Pantheon, it could be a good idea to look for a catch on an enemy on the other side of the map. And then when the enemy, and if you don't catch an enemy, for example, and the enemy engages on your team near the Baron, all you do is you use your ultimate in the middle of the fight. I don't know what the Ahri was doing there. He just got caught by the Malphite, unfortunately. Darius is just split pushing, and we're in a 3 versus 5 situation, but there's a random Alistar here. And you guys know what Pantheon is good at. Catching out an enemy. There it is. Oh no. So it's true that we caught out the Alistar, but we were still in a 3 versus 5 situation. So even though we killed the Alistar, all of us died. And this sucks. This really sucks. This is not worth what the Darius did. He's also up against the Zed here. Not that much that he can... Yeah, there it is. This is just not well played by us. If there was someone pushing the Baron lane, it should have been, or sorry, the Dragon lane, it should have been me, because I have my global ultimate and Darius doesn't. Of course I'm gonna use my ultimate here, by the way, guys. Of course. Boom. The dragon is up. We've killed the mountain. Oh, that was aggressive. He still had his ultimate. Oh no. It's still fine, because my team should be able... Yeah, there it is. But I just went way too far there. Like, it would have worked if the Kai'Sa didn't have her ultimate, but I just, you know, I don't know. That was just... I really wanted that kill. That's more of it. You shouldn't really flash like that, because you don't really have any escaping ability on Pantheon. You have to keep that in mind. Pantheon doesn't have any escaping ability. So flash is your only escape from the enemy if you screw up, right? So keep that in mind when you play Pantheon. Oh, the Darius had a beautiful hook there. He got a kill. Very nice. Darius is pretty behind right now, so it's really nice that he got a kill. Oh! Yeah, they got him. We should get the dragon now. We've killed their jungler, so we should get the dragon. And at this point of the game, like, you'll feel that you'll start to get a bit weaker. Because there's gonna be like turning points. You'll feel that, hey, what the hell? I can't kill that Kai'Sa anymore. Or I can't kill the enemy Ezreal anymore. Why? The reason why is because you're gonna fall off in the game. Well, I should not go on the Alistar here, by the way. I should try to go for the Kai'Sa. That's like, look at the Kai'Sa. She's so vulnerable right there. I just go in immediately on the Kai'Sa. I really want to kill the Kai'Sa. I can't reach her, however. Eee, that was so close. I clicked on my first ability. It was not quite enough. I dealt a lot of damage, but they're surviving somehow. My team should be able to clean up. I did so much damage there. Ooh, the Darius got his stacks. The Darius got his stacks. Look at the Darius. Look at the Darius. Ooh! Ooh! He got another one. That's my boy Darius right there. That's what you want to see from a Darius. Just cleaning up those fights after a lot of the teammates did the damage. Really, really beautifully played. This was fine. Like, I did a fine job there. I totally did a fine job. I got the Kai'Sa very low, and I also did some damage to the Alistar bot sometime. Oh, yeah. About the third ability. So the third ability is really good, and this is basically the ability that's gonna save you in the late game. That's gonna make you useful, because what this ability does, it basically makes you buy time. You can buy time with it. So in the late game, when you engage, do your stuns, do your damage, while you're disengaging, boom, you use your shield in front of you and you walk back. What this is gonna do is gonna block all the damage that's coming from the front. And this is really good, because even though 1.5 seconds might not sound like a lot, if you think about how long a team fight takes, probably like maybe 12 to 15 seconds, 1.5 seconds is 10 to 15% of the fight. Of course, in the beginning of the fight especially, it's very valuable, because that's when everyone is going to use the burst abilities, right? So when you block that damage, you're actually going to be buying time. So that's what makes you somewhat useful in the late game, I guess, because you can block that damage to buy time. This is a very important ability, because you're not tanky. You're not tanky at all. Let's take a look at how... Oh, the Darius got the kill again. Of course, I stunned the Malphite. I'm not using it right now because it's unnecessary. No one is really dealing any damage to me. We just killed all of them. I didn't have to use it there because I didn't initiate the fight. We just caught out an enemy right there. We caught out the Wukong, so it was unnecessary for me to use the third ability. By the way, the third ability also blocks ignite damage, if you didn't know already. So if you're almost gonna die from an ignite, that's all you do. You put your hand and your shield in front of you and you block the ignite damage. So yeah, it also blocks Garen's ultimate, Darius' ultimate. It blocks everything that's coming from that direction. Everything. All the damage. So keep that in mind. It's actually very strong. And if you have good reaction time, it's even stronger, because you can block very hard to block abilities, like Garen's ultimate, for example, right? I'm just split pushing here. I see the Z coming, and honestly, I don't want to deal with the Z. I really don't want to deal with the Z. Actually, I do. Wow, never mind. I do. Oh my god! Jesus! What? Man, what a badass! Woo! I remember that this was not lucky. This was on purpose. Oh my god! This was... Wait, we need to rewatch that. We need to rewatch that. Okay, first, how did I kill the Z? Let's take a look. Oh, because I have Baron minions? I stun him under the Baron minions? He uses his ultimate? I flash away, use my first... But look at this, look at this, look at this. I see the Malphite. I know he's gonna ult. Boom! You guys are probably not gonna believe that this was actually somewhat planned. Of course, it was not a 100% guarantee that it was gonna work, but I really felt like Malphite was gonna ult me there. It was a prediction. It was not a reaction. It was a prediction. So I just used my second ability to go on him to dodge his ultimate, and it was such perfect timing, and it actually worked. If it didn't work, I would have just died. But that was really the only thing I could have done there to at least survive, have a chance of survival, and it actually worked. Unbelievable. Wow. Wow. Dude, that was insane. Oh my god. Now I know why I chose this game for a video. Jesus. Oh. So a lesson that you can take from that fight as well, you can actually use your second ability to reposition in team fights as well. So if you're in an unfavorable position, you can actually use your second ability to dive to another enemy, for example, like the Malphite there, to actually get yourself in a bit of a better position to maybe escape or kill an enemy. It's also somewhat of a mobility ability, I guess, right? We just got every single turret of theirs, so there should be no way that they can still win the game. Like, even if they kill all of us here, actually they can. If they kill all of us here, and just push down mid lane, they might be able to end, but no, it's too late. It's too late. Oh, I have my ultimate as well. They don't even need me anymore. Look at this. They don't even need me. Oh. Pantheon, baby. Just like I said in the beginning part of the video. Pantheon, baby. This champion is so amazing. He's so amazing. He's so good in the early game. You can get your team so ahead with this champion. It's insane. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Let's take a look at how much damage. 22,000. No, I mean decent amount of damage. I did a good job in this game. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye bye.